わたいなた。わたいなた。
Oh! So it was a complete replacement. I thought it might be you could get both. I thought like there was the fortune telling, and then also the because like the rewards you get for doing oh I see. Is that it? So basically, for the lottery, like depending on what you get certain rewards. So lesser fortune gives you money. So it's kind of like the dog bones. So basically, greater fortune is probably like the golden poop, which gives you the most amount of primo gems or gacha currency. And then maybe greater. Oh, I think I got greater luck last time. I don't remember getting gacha currency though. So maybe only the super fortune gives you gacha currency, and maybe there's a few types of gacha currency. So maybe that's how it goes. Okay, I thought you get both, right? But no, it seems like the fortune is just the replacement. Which is like you could have both. Like if you give such like piddling rewards for it, like, it doesn't really make a difference if you allow people to double dip. But whatever.
あなた様の
何か私は応募背中は任せていい。お前さんの運勢は悪くない。一つ占ってやろうか。
勝ったら
あなた様の
番号1を背中。
総策は
よっしゃ。
何
俺人は強し飯はうまし。もつ炒めでもどうだ。
Okay, so I need to do this again anyway. But yeah, I need to level him up because he's supposedly a really good pairing with Yishuan. Okay, so it seems like it's mostly that and that one. I forget what that number two one is, the two-piece one is. Oh, energy regen. Yeah, that makes sense. Wow, really? Literally no attack percents other than hers? Or in hers, I guess. I could steal hers, I guess. But yeah, obviously I'm not going to. Attack percent is going to be like one of those ones where I'll just roll for it. What's the recommended for this? Just attack again? Okay. So shit, I might have actually thrown away attack. I don't know if I would have thrown away. I might have... It's like explicitly only kept... Gee, let's see. What do you guys? These are all kind of crap, actually, regardless of the set. These are all pretty shit. Because basically, he only needs attack percent. And it's like, wow, what a surprise. Like, he only needs attack percent, and literally none of these have attack percent at all. It says flat attack. Oh, this has attack percent. I guess I could do that. But, like, it's also, like, you know. This does too. I guess there are, but, like, only for this one. Actually, wait, that was actually pretty... Wait, this one. This one's pretty good. Let's just equip this one. But, like, it's also, like, these three are the easiest to get because the main stat is dictated. And I only need... 2 of these 6 pieces have to be this. So that means I have to make sure I get the other set for all the other ones, which is kind of annoying. So, yeah, that'll be a bit. Okay, I did my dailies, I believe. So now it's time to get back to the main story.
Oh.
Oh, interesting. Is he going to bring up to a party menu, or am I just only using Yishuan for the entire fight? I guess it's just going to be a Yishuan fight. I mean, I guess they might throw in some of the disciples here and there. But yeah, I was kind of expecting us to pick a party for us, but I guess not. Oh, that's cool. Oh, interesting. I see. So they're basically kind of taking cues from what they did. Miyabi's I think it was Miyabi's character mission, or maybe it was an event for a patch. But basically, as part of that, what you ended up doing is you ended up getting like a map inside the Hollow. That was like this black and white world, but like you had a map inside here where you did combat. It was very much like how they've done things like that in Honkai Impact 3rd. But it was kind of a one-off. So I mean, it was a one-off at the time. In fact, we can even see it. It was like actually, we can even see it within this thing right here. This Melanoe, the Melanoe Hollow entrance, was a thing where you go inside, and it was kind of like this, where you have like a home base type thing, where it was safe, where you could interact with NPCs, but then you leave the safe zone and you go out and about, and there's chests to collect. But then, you know, pretty much every kind of arena-like area. So, like, let's see, like here, once I get to this area, there's going to be a fight. Once I get to this area, there's going to be a fight. There's probably going to be fights in this and that area there too. Like, basically any place that's a little big is going to have a fight. But it is a little better because Melanoe kind of was a little drab because it was all like super black and white. So it was just all the buildings were white. So this is nicer in that it looks prettier. So, okay, what do you get to say?
Oh, パロの言ってた調査員さんよかった。おかげ。
あれ、どちら様？
エリックだ。
Oh, Fufu's with us. So is it going to be Yishuan and Fufu as the combat people?
救助活動なんかこの間の労災については
大体の経緯は聞きました。侵食か。
そうだ。労災が起きてからこのやっこさんのらりくらりとかわしてやがる。どうせ賠償金をしびれるだけ行動を起こす時だ。
何かプランはあるの？
ポーセルメックスが強硬な態度を取れるのは奴らにかかれば労働者たちの集団入院も偶然。だからポーセルメックスの薬に問題があるって証拠を探すんだ。確固たる証拠さえあれば。
Well, that's the tough thing, right? So you guys were like, oh, they took the medicine. They took the medicine, and it was bad, and we had an outbreak of corruption. But it could have been not that the medicine doesn't work, but that specific batch of medicine was intentionally like fucked over, right? So like it could be that the medicine works all the time, but someone, you know, presumably with the evil group trying to like doing sacrifices and stuff like that, creating sacrifices and trying to further human evolution, it could be that they tainted one batch of it, and they're like, okay, for this batch, we're gonna put an accelerant, a corruption accelerant, to see, you know, to essentially elicit this exact same outbreak. But if it's just like one batch was corrupted, like, it's really hard to prove that, right? They had a scientist show that this one batch was ineffective, but like, that's it, right? It's a huge leap to say, oh, well, this one batch was ineffective, therefore all batches are ineffective, because like, you guys have been working, you've been working in the Hollow for ages, you know? If the medicine was completely ineffective, you'd think there'd be a lot more outbreaks. Right, so like that's the faulty thing. You're just assuming, oh well, this one batch was ineffective, therefore all of their batches are ineffective. It's like, well, if all of their batches were ineffective, you already had pre-existing corruption conditions. So if it was completely ineffective, you would have been corrupted ages ago. All of you would have been corrupted all the time. So their medicine has to work to some degree. Now, maybe it's not really good, and so you're slowly getting more and more corrupted, and finally, this is the time. So rather than a corruption eliminator, right? Rather than preventing the accumulation of corruption, it's just able to limit the accumulation of corruption. And just after like 5 years, that's when you'll hit that limit. That's when you'll hit your own corruption threshold. That's been slowly accumulating, and now you finally erupt. So it could be that the medicine is not perfect, but it should still be somewhat effective. Otherwise, this would be a more rampant issue.
でも侵食の後遺症がある人たちにとって安価な緩和剤が必要なことは証拠をつかんでも交渉が決裂しちゃったらしばらくは。
そう、それが今までみんなが我慢しロアさんというお医者先生が
And that's the thing, is that,
安価な侵食緩和剤を提供してくださったんだ。
and then that's the thing too, is that, like you say you've been using it for ages, so it's clearly the medicine is able to work. Now, the really suspicious thing is, Dr. Lower is willing to treat us at a lower rate. Dr. Lower was also the one who found out that the medicine that was used in this recent outbreak was ineffective. So doesn't it seem like Dr. Lower could potentially be a problem? It's that he used so it could be that the doctor was the one who swapped out the medicine, because clearly he knows what's what regarding this, if he's able to treat them. So it could be that Dr. Lower is with the evil group trying to do human experimentation, and he used this as an opportunity. He's like, hey, I know, I'm going to swap out the medicine with something that will cause an outbreak. I'll prove that their medicine is bad, and then I'll be able to treat, quote unquote, treat them. And because now, instead of relying on the company, they're relying on me, I'll be able to do a lot more human experimentation, while making money from these people. So Dr. Lower is incredibly suspicious. I think this could easily be a plot by him to ruin their trust in the company and get all of them medicine provided by him with which he can do whatever he wants to further his experiments.
ポーセルメックスの支配を振り切る決心がついたのは彼のおかげと言っていい。今や
すごいね。
専門的なことは俺にもわからない。人を集めて独自に薬を作ってるとか、ポーセルメックスがフォローに廃棄した設備を運用しているとか聞いたな。
This is weird, right? The early production, like, you're producing anti-corruption medicine within the Hollow? Like, you'd think you'd be taking whatever materials you need for it outside of the Hollow so that you could work on it. Like, it's weird that because obviously they need, like, you can produce medicine anywhere, right? You just give them medicine, you take the medicine, you go inside the Hollow and do your work, right? So it's not like you ever need to produce medicine inside. It's not like these people are living in the Hollow, so you need, food and medicine to be produced inside the Hollow so that they can continue to live here. So it's weird that there would even be medicine production facilities within the Hollow itself, right? And that's the whole thing, is that it's the Orso Lumex company's facilities. And wasn't the whole thing that, like, the whole reason we're going to these old facilities is because of the corruption? Is because of the miasma around them? So it's like, But yeah, see, it doesn't seem safe. Yeah. This guy seems suspicious. Let's see if he looks suspicious as well. Does he look as suspicious as he seems already?
それか取られたば。
少なくともこの辺では見かけ、俺にわかるのはそれぐらいだな。
そっか、ありが。
That guy looks so fucking suspicious. Look at those beady little eyes. But, who knows? It could be,
こんにちは、ロア先生。
he could be nice. But, Jesus, yeah, he looks so suspicious.
安心して、私たちはインフル。
実のところ、緩和剤の成分に特別なものはないんだ。せいぜい貴重なのは当時の粉末くらいだけど。
So it could be that the reason why they're making it here is because it's easier to, I guess, siphon the powder. Because obviously any porcelain powder, any of the porcelain powder will be, or any of the porcelain ore will be shipped out of the hollow, going straight to the Porcelainmux facilities to be processed. So being able to get the powder from them would be very difficult. Whereas if you're here, you can mine it yourself, grind up the powder and produce it all in-house, and don't have to worry about it. Because obviously, even if you are mining it yourself, producing the powder, and then trying to ship it out for production, that in and of itself could be caught, especially if there's only one trolley going in and out of the hollow. You would have to bring your product out, which could then be caught. So I guess it makes sense a little bit. They'll try to create a production facility within the hollow so that you could... I don't know, though. Because, so that means you have to be producing the medicine inside the hollow and then give it to people all within the hollow? I mean... whatever, we'll see. We'll see what the gist of it is.
それに最近、フォローで古びた生産ラインを見つけたんだ。
But yeah, so I guess the production line is the production and processing of porcelain, and then they can just use the powder produced by the production facility to then create the ingredient. I mean, I don't even know, so you're just mixing the powder in with water and that's it? That's all it is? Oh, really? That's it? It's really just mixing in the powder with water? That seems very suspicious.
君たちは考えたことがないか？ポーセルメックスはせいぜい病気の進行を遅らせる程度の弱い薬があれば、結局のところ、旧と陥落で侵食された人々ほど都合のいい労働者なんていないのだから。ポーセルメックスが賠償を先延ばしにしている。
Oh, I see.
まとまったお金を手にした人々。
I see. So the logic of that is very sound, right? Obviously it does seem dangerous. Most people don't want to willingly work in a hollow, and the people who do are reliant on the company to provide them with the medicine. So essentially, they're kind of stuck with the company regardless, and the company can just make it so, okay, well, we'll give you medicine to treat your corruption sickness, but you have to do this work here. So they essentially get relatively cheap labor, especially if the medicine itself is simply just taking ground up powder and mixing it with water. And if that's all it is, I mean, obviously, him calling it alleviating water isn't proof that it's just powder and water. But if it is that simple, then it's wow, then the actual production of this medicine is dirt cheap for them, because essentially it's the powder is a byproduct of the stuff they'd already be using in production. So it's oh, we already have, you're mining the ore for us. We can just siphon off a small section of that ore for the powder for your medicine. So I guess that does kind of make sense, and they would be more inclined, especially if they knew they could cure it, to not cure it. That's kind of the issue we have with big pharmacy in the States, is that we worry about medication, is that companies are not really incentivized to create cures for things. They want to create something that can alleviate the symptoms. Because if you can cure it, they no longer need medicine for it, right? But if you can provide them with medicine for the symptoms, they'll always have a disease because you're not treating the disease, and they'll always need medication for symptoms. It's incredibly unethical. And I do understand that treating the symptoms is easier as well, usually, than curing the disease, because oftentimes the disease is caused by a multitude of issues. Sometimes it's even genetic, so it's not super feasible to cure every disease. But you can obviously treat symptoms. Oh, you have a headache? Cool, we'll give you some Tylenol or Advil to treat a headache. But Like, and that's like, and some like diseases are virus borne, like the flu. Like, we can give flu shots to try to, and flu shots are basically just trying to get you to create your own antibodies to help protect you against the real flu. Using, just basically bolstering your own body's symptoms. We're not actually like preventing the disease. There are some things like antivirals, which are actually directly created to combat viruses, not simply boost your immune system, boost your natural. So like, there's a lot of weird stuff about medication, and obviously, yeah, if you have, especially if the cure for the symptom is so cheap and easy, then yeah. It also is kind of weird though, because like, you're just feeding them Luminex powder, like, or Porcelume powder, like, is that healthy? Like, it's like someone like, look, I have this iron. It's like, you know, like how you have like multivitamins and stuff like that, and there's like iron and stuff in it, and you're like, yeah, but it's not like you go and eat a bar of iron, right? Or you'd be like, oh, I need some iron in my diet. Oh, I'll find something in my home that's made of iron, shave it down a little bit, and just eat the iron fillings, eat the iron shavings. It's like, no, most people wouldn't think to do that. And it's like, that's basically what they're doing. They found this rock, they've ground up the rock, and then mixing in the rock in with a, you know, a water solution of maybe other stuff too. And they're like, there you go. And it's like sure. Because like, the weird thing is how it even works, right? Because like, this helps resist corruption. The Porcelume helps resist corruption, but it could be like when it's made into an alloy, that just the corruption, ether just cannot pass through it, right? You've produced a material that it just cannot pass through. It has no purchase, you know? It's like, you'll never see a rock with a virus, right? Like, a rock will never get sick because of a virus, because there's nothing for the virus to operate on. So it's something like that, where it's like, yes, this Porcelume ore turns into a material that just ether cannot grab onto, cannot purchase, cannot influence whatsoever. But like, I don't see how that means, yeah, just drink it and you'll have those same powers. It's like, no, like, it just means that ether, like, this is an impermeable material for ether. Like, I guess I understand the basic premise is that, oh, well, if you're drinking it and this is coursing through your blood, then ether can't corrupt you, because it doesn't make sense, right? It depends on how this ore works. If this ore repels ether, if this ore naturally repels ether, then yes, it could work by ingesting, right? If the material this naturally repels ether, if you put it into the ground, if you take a stake of this and just jam it into the ground, if you don't see any ether corruption within like a meter of it, then sure, yes, this repels ether. And then, yeah, I could understand how ingesting it would help, because even if you have enough of it in your blood, it could repel ether like that's around you. So essentially create a little like mini force field around your body because of the Porcelume particles in it. But if this material is just something that is impermeable to ether, that ether just cannot get through, so you could just create a wall. Essentially, you could just create a wall around this hollow, and you'd be fine, because ether would never. And then the hollow would just be unable to. Oh, I don't. Maybe not. Maybe it would be able to increase in size, because it's not like the bubble itself is made out of ether, but you know, something like that. If it just is impermeable to ether, then it wouldn't really help to eat it, because sure, the little particles inside could not be corrupted by ether, but it's not going to protect the rest of you. So, but we don't really know. Obviously, some material that was just introduced is as part of this quest. So, as part of this new story patch. So the assumption is, considering they're ingesting it, is that Porcelume somehow is able to resist and repel ether particles, or whatever ether is. And that's why you could treat people with it and use it as material. Because not only is it's essentially impermeable to ether, because ether just can't even get close to it.
もちろん合法ではないし、リスクも大きい。
ロア先生とやら、ポーセルメックスが賠償。
もちろんある。 友人が現地被害者のカルテは全て改ざんされ、彼らが発症した具体的な原因は我々の手で証拠を見つけ出さない限り、賠償金なんて夢のまた夢なんだ。とはいえ事故のあったエリアはすでに放棄され、エーテリアスだらけになっている。僕では調査に行けない。そうだ、市長さんが調査を手伝ってもらえるなら。
I don't get why we'd be able to find evidence unless you like. It's like if we go on site of locations, like, well, yeah, but like, wouldn't the company have already wiped out everything from that location before abandoning it? Like, I don't see why we'd be able to find. We'd be more likely to find something at the company itself to find records of their malfeasance, because they themselves, like, sure, they wipe medical records from the hospital, but they themselves have to be able to keep medical records. Like, they have to be able to keep accurate medical records. They still have to have these guys' medical records because if they don't know. Because, like, essentially, this is incredibly risky. If any one of them, succumbs to corruption and has an outbreak on this is very bad for business. So even if you want to cover it up, you also need to make sure you are keeping an eye on everyone else's corruption index, so you know when they're likely for this to happen again, so you can nip it in the bud before it becomes an issue. So, like, doing it the way they did it, of like, oh, well, we caught it. Anyway. So basically, yeah, the company itself seems a more likely place to have these records, not so randomly in the hollow. Although I don't really know the extent of what they do, how much they do in the hollow. I just assume they ship these guys in each morning, and they come home every night after the job is done. So then most of the facilities to treat them would be outside.
キャロットのデータに従って事故のあったエリアを調査してみてほしい。ただエーテリアスとの
安心しろ。
よし、私は事件。
Oh, I see. Yeah, I guess if there are observation modules that they weren't able to wipe, maybe the corruption got too bad, so they weren't able to get to the control room to wipe it, or maybe there's local backups on each device, so maybe it uploads some stuff to the cloud, but we can still go into the device itself to get it. Anyway, we'll see. Obviously, I'm doing a lot of supposition, but we'll see how it actually shakes out. Oh, interesting. So I can swap on the fly. So that's why they didn't force me to pick coming in, because once you're in here and maybe in a safe zone, you can just access it whenever the fuck you want. Oh wait, what? Was it this? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay, so I can't undo that, so I guess Astra will be my support. There we go. And I have... Oh, I was hoping they would give you this for free. As a trial, obviously, because they're giving you those characters for free as for the trial, so I thought they would give this as well.
私が来た。
倍返し。
ここは廃棄されたようだな。だが侵食
Yeah,
が
but
起き
yeah,
た
totally
時の
called it.
痕跡は
Pretty much
まだ
every
残ってい
arena
る
is every set of any area that has this much square space
エーテル
is
の
going to be a
残
fight
留物は突
arena.
然消えたりしないからな。
I was expecting there to be some treasure chests. I thought I saw on the map that there were treasure chests. Yeah, there's 17 treasure chests. Although maybe I can't unlock them in story mode. Maybe this, because I'm technically doing this as the story, all the chests have been despawned. Basically force you to come back here later. I guess, or maybe they don't want you to use the trial characters to do all the shit for you.
みんな、エーテリアスが来たよ。やりです。ルルルこの歌で心を動かすわ。
Okay, I guess I better stop looking for a treasure chest. It seems like there's just not going to be any. Might as well just focus on the story.
こんなに宮妻が。この前の事故の影響でしょうか。
Ooh, glowing toothpicks.
.早速角管の術を試してみるか。その一つ、追跡の方を使えば
Oh, I see. I just it's a toggle on and off thing. I just turn it on.
深呼吸して周囲に漂うエーテルの波動を
I
感
just
じ
turn it
取
on
って
and then I can aim it. That's pretty cool. It's basically the elemental sight from Genshin, except who knows? It might have more purpose.
「侵食事故が起きた時、多くの人々が四方に逃げていった。これらの痕跡
Oh, we were just here. Okay.
おそらくその時のものだ。そして今やお前さんは追跡が使える。痕跡を
I don't know. Like we've just had so many evil doctors. I'm really suspicious of this dude. But I mean, who knows? He might be a nice one. Because like they're like a lot of people become doctors because they want to help people. So it's not crazy to think that there actually would be a good one. It's just that like the people we're fighting against, the people who are like manipulating hollows and performing human experiments, are also doctors who are, you know, trying to do their own agenda. So we've come across those kind of doctors far more frequently than normal doctors, because this is a game where essentially no one can die, because like we never seem to get injured and need a doctor. Yeah, like this heals us. So it's like we never really need healing. And I mean, for the most part, like the panda was the second guy who allowed healing. Astro was like the first one who actually did a proper heal. Astro was the first one who did a proper heal. So that's why she was so useful. Now the panda Yin-Hu also does a heal as well. So it's like most of the game was just revolving around just not taking damage. You're supposed to dodge, you're supposed to parry and swap characters, you know, swap counters. That's the main goal. And if you're taking damage, you're fucking up. But then, you know, Astral Yao allows for a little more leeway and allow you to heal yourself. With the edge, so really? So this hollow's not really that big then. We're already at the edge. Because like this map is relatively small, right? Oh, actually no, well, it's small because we're another level. Yeah, like that's not really a huge hollow. But I guess, I don't know, maybe Hollow Zero is the only one that's super big. Oh, okay, so it's still pressing X to actually do it. That is kind of cool. I hope that there's going to be more instances where we actually use it. See what this. I hope there'll be more instances where we use it, and it can be kind of more like a puzzle thing. It's like, oh wow.
師匠も驚きだ。
大げさだって師匠。ほらたまたまってこともあるかもだし。
Okay, let's go back.
さあ調査を続けよう。
That is kind of annoying using Astra. Is that when you swap her out of battle? Like I kind of wish they would disable that. When you're out of battle, just let me swap properly. Because every time it's always like it's a swap dodge, and so she swaps and then just like starts gliding along, and it's like, dude, I'm swapping to her because I need her to start. I need her to do her skill first, so that she can, hot swap to another character and then swap between those two. Like Astra needs to be the first one to go because she needs to be the one to do her skill and get off the field for the rest of the battle, right? So it's kind of annoying because like she's rarely ever on the field at the end. So like that's what sucks in Hollow Zero is that I always want her to be first, and then I do her skill and swap her off, and then it's the other two characters that actually beat the bosses, and so then you beat a boss and you go into the next zone, and if there's a combat zone at the beginning, you don't start with Astra, so you have to quickly swap back to Astra to do her skill. It's like, I really just wish there was a way to be like, hey, anytime we go between zones, could you, or even outside of combat, like, hey, outside of combat, could you automatically swap back to player one every single time? Like, once battle's over, please go back to player one. Please automatically swap me back to player one. I want to start every single combat encounter as player one. It should be a setting, not a default, but there should be a setting to do that, where it's like, yes, once combat is over, you auto swap back to the first player. That's what I think they should allow. Because like for some teams it doesn't matter, but like for Astra, every single Astra team always wants her to go first. Like so, it's like. What the hell? Why do we? Oh, I see. That's the site of the accident. How do we know that just by looking at it? But yeah, like every team, every Astra team always wants Astra to go first and use her skill to get off the field, or, to use her skill so she can swap to another character and go off field. So that's what I want to do every single time, but it is kind of annoying that there is no sort of setting for that, and I have to fuck around with the interface, and every time I swap to Astra, I have to hold fucking the X button so she doesn't go back. Because like, if you just do a normal swap, you'll swap to her, and she'll still be singing on the field. So you have to swap and hold X so that you can actually start moving around normally. So it's just like, it's really fucking annoying having to swap back to her every fucking time, having to manipulate her fucking UI to get her to stop casting her battle music because you don't fucking need it. Like, it's just like, the game clearly recognizes when we're in combat or not. Could you just fucking stop her from doing combat shit outside of combat? But yeah, I mean, I get it. It's better to not have those kind of conditions so that she's more responsive in combat. But basically, by adding that, you could have false positives where she does it. She does non-combat. She tries to go essentially in a non-combat mode in combat, which could fuck you over. And so it's better not to do that. And it's better to leave her in combat mode because it's better to be in combat mode when you don't need it than not be in combat mode when you do need it. I get that, but it is still kind of annoying. See, like, if I did not press X at that point, she would have glided, and then she would have slammed down and started singing, and I would have had to hold X again. So it's like, yeah, sure, I could press the button to stop it, but simultaneously, it would be nice if I didn't have to do that every fucking time. Because when do you want to use it? Well, you want to do it every fucking time, because you want to have her start every single time. So it's just something you have to do every fucking time they get her back to number 1 again. So it's just like, come on. What? No shit. I thought we like had the ability to hack. That's why we were doing that. Like, well, wait, what? Can't we just go through there? It's an open door.
分布ならまだ近くにいるだろうし、声かけてみよう。
And that's the other thing too. It's kind of annoying is that you need to press X. You press X to dodge and also to interact. So there's a fuckload of instances where you're like, oh, I want to interact with this thing, but I dodged because the cursor that was right above their head when I was about to press X quickly shifted off. Like you were moving towards them, you're like, oh, the cursor appeared. I'm going to press X, but because you're still kind of moving, because you still have some inertia, even if you stop moving the joystick, you'll move forward slightly still because you have inertia going forward, and so your cursor will now be off the target, and now you don't have the interact option, and so you dodge instead. So there's been a lot of instances like that where I'm trying to interact with an object and I just keep fucking dodging. It's just really fucking annoying. But again, it's one of those things. It's better safe than sorry. It's better to dodge when you don't need to than not dodge when you do. All right, it's better to dodge when it doesn't matter than start interacting with something when you're in the middle of combat.
侵食物質の残骸が増えてきたな。エーテリアスが引き寄せられてくるかもしれない。みんな気をつけろ。
注意してください。やっていそうな子が現れましたよ。いえ、上級エーテリアス。
邪水滅殺。
Oh wait a minute, I went above 3,000? Can I go above 3,000 out of combat? That is kind of annoying though, because in the Melanoe Hollow, you could actually, during the story elements of the Hollow, you could still find chests and interact with them and work towards the total chest thing. So it still encouraged you to wander around and look and get chests as you were going. So it is kind of annoying that you're going to finish the story and then you're going to have to come back here and go through all the areas again just to find the chest. Where it's one thing if you're like, oh, if the chests were all here and I could get them, if I missed a chest and I have to go back and get them, that's fine. I'm fine going back and getting a chest I missed because I missed it. It's my fault, right? If only I had looked a little harder, I could have found it. So, me going back and having to go look for it is punishment for me not being observant enough. But for here, it's no. It's basically saying, hey, do all this shit again because fuck you, we're not going to allow you to get chests. We're just going to artificially force you to come back by not allowing you to get the rewards so that you are forced to come back to get them. And it's not fun. You shouldn't force players to do something again. you know, or the stuff that you like. Obviously, gacha games like this are incredibly grindy, very repetitive, but generally, as a gameplay mechanic, you shouldn't like do stuff like that. Where it's like you shouldn't force players to do the same thing more than once, especially if you're expected to like. That's why like the previous Hollow Zero was kind of shit, because they were expecting you to do Hollow Zero runs twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week, because the max capacity was 8,000 points a week, and you can only get 3,500 from some of them. So it's like, although maybe it was 7,000 at early Trailblazer ranks or whatever the hell the Python rank is, the interweb rank. Maybe at low levels it was just 7,000. So 2-3. It's like the max level from the Hollow, the max number of points you can get from the Hollow things. The Hollow Zero run was like 3,500. So maybe 7,000 was the max at that point. And the only time they increased it to 8,000 was when they had the center one that allowed you to run it for 4,000, get 4,000. But even still, that means you have to run the 4,000 one twice, doing the exact same thing. You just run it, and now you have half the points that you could get for the week, so you run it again for the remainder of the points. And it's like, you're doing the same thing twice. Don't do that. And they improved it with the new version of Hollow Zero. Basically, as long as you're doing the most current thing, so in the new Hollow Zero mode they have, it's for the first time you do it a week, you get double points from it. Now, if you try to go back and do the old new version of Hollow Zero, if you do the older iteration of Lost Void, you only get 4,000 points for doing it. But if you do the newest mode, you get 4,000 times 2. So you could just do one run and get all the rewards for the week. And that's what you should do. You should not force players to do the same thing twice. This is just arbitrary. They could easily have the chest there. They just are choosing not to. Oh, okay, so I can't. What? I don't get what these control points are. Oh, Jesus Christ. Press quad name equal... Okay, what the fuck? Jesus Christ. Yeah, so obviously that's how they... Basically, it's a variable that allows this to work for all systems. So if you're on a keyboard, it'd be like, oh, press this letter. If you're on this, press this letter. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. I see. Oh, okay. So you just move the lines further down. Got it. I thought I was using the cursor to move the ball, so I have to make sure the ball was rotating around it or whatever, which is kind of weird. So it's I have to go through and explore all of this, and it'd be one thing if it was oh, well, there's no combat because you beat combat before. It's no, I'm gonna have to go through here, and every single square arena I come across, there's gonna be enemies that I have to fight again, and it just is kind of annoying to have to do, because it's cheating, right? Having to do this combat again, it's and just for the rewards. We did all this stuff. We had to get authorization. And yet there's always these fucking guys here at all times. And also, why do we need authorization when it's an open section? Couldn't we just take a plane or a boat or something?
これが音楽の魔法。
任せておけ。
God damn it, that's the second fucking time I dodged and it didn't dodge. Like, I'm trying to dodge out of that.
神経がたぎる。下がれ、一心。無限。
Yeah, I was trying to dodge out of it. I was trying to do a dodge counter, but I just kept getting hit every time I do it. I'm pressing X. I see myself, feel myself pressing X, but for some reason, it didn't work. It's kind of annoying. Also, like, Hollow Raiders. Like, what? How are there Hollow Raiders here? Right? Like, if you think about this, how are there Hollow Raiders here? You know? Oh, can I? Okay. Because, like, there's only one way into here. There's one fucking, you know, there's one trolley car that goes into the Hollow. How the fuck are they getting in? Now, I mean, I guess you could leave and take a boat. Like, you could, because it's surrounded by water, so you could take a boat in, perhaps. Maybe that's what they do, but, like, it's crazy.
来てくれてよかった。
あれ、ローン先生。
侵食症状のサンプルを取るためにちょっとした抜け道、君たちが来てくれて助かった。
Yeah, I find this incredibly suspicious. It's like, so we tracked this down the entire way, and yet somehow you were able to get directly to here. Like, if you knew a direct route, or if you knew specifically where it was, why didn't you just tell us that?
よかった。それで証拠とこの先は侵食が爆発的に増えたエリアだ。叫び声のようなものを聞くに
心配ご無用。もしエーテリアスが
素晴らしい。
Oh, I see. Oh, I see. This is the material boss for
このエーテリアス、なんか変。みんな気をつけて。ジャスミン大佐。ヤスマに何かされたみたいです。なんかバッチリ感じがします。
ふうふう、油断はするんじゃないぞ。こいつの繰り出す技に注意しつつ速やかに片付けるぞ。
なんともリスキー。いやはや僕たちは十分な証拠を。エリックたちはちょうど交代で休んでいるだろうから、そうなればいよいよ文学さんの皆さんも。い
えいえ、もともと今回の事故を
Yeah, and like, because that's the thing, is always collecting samples of the corrections. Like, you know, there are two people who'd want to do that. One, a person who actually honestly wants to help, you know, which he could be. Or two, if he was the one who caused this corruption incident, he might want samples to prove whether the experiment was a success or not, right? He could be like, oh, cool, I gave them a different potion, I gave them a different thing, I'm trying to elicit a specific reaction, and it was way greater than I expected, so I got shuffled off before I could collect samples to prove it, right? So it's either he's helping honestly out of the goodness of his heart, or he was the one who caused this incident, and this is data he needs to further his experiment.
本当に何とお礼を言った。
計画？
エリックたち互助会のメンバーと一緒についに。
Thank you for teaching me the methods of teleporting, which I've been using for the past week without that tutorial. But honestly, I mean, there are some really fucking stupid people who actually need that kind of shit, right? Because I noticed, like, because normally I would press the touchpad to teleport before. That's how it used to work, I think. Or maybe it was R1 or something. But I saw the button, I'm like, oh, there's the touchpad. I'm like, huh, that didn't do what I... Like, I don't want to have to cycle through these maps. It's really kind of annoying to cycle through these maps, and considering how long how the load is. Like, what about our old menu? Then I'm like, oh, here's another button. I'm like, oh, this is exactly what we had before, except slightly worse because you can't see where the trust events are from that map. But you know, it's better than nothing. I mean, it's a method of fast travel, so it's like, yeah. But there are some people who are so fucking stupid, if they aren't told explicitly what to do, they just will never... Like, there are people who just have no curiosity, right? Who don't, like... When they come in and they're like, oh, look, here's a bunch of menus and buttons and stuff, they don't, like, try clicking everything, right? They don't, like, oh, what does this do? What does this do? Like, this is telling me... Like, you know, what does that do? Oh, okay, that does that. What does L2 do? Oh, L2 brings up that. Okay, cool. Like, they don't fiddle around with buttons to see what each one does. And you're just like, why? Like, they're the people who, if they are not explicitly told what to do, they'll ask people. Rather than test or experiment. Like, I've seen it so many times where it's just like, you get people asking questions that are intuitively obvious, where it's like, if you tried looking yourself, you would have found it very quickly. If you like, oh yeah, if you pressed this button, it would have instantly, like, this is all you need to do, press this one button, and you would have gotten to that menu you're looking for. And and for like that fast travel, it was literally there. It should say, hey, yeah, press right on the D-pad, does something. And that's what I did. You know, I looked around, I'm like, okay, well, here's the buttons, let's see what each button does. I'm like, oh, cool, there it is, right? There are people who just are dumb, who just can't do simple shit like that. Okay, but I think I am going to stop here. So yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and call it here. One, I've been playing for over an hour, walking the entire time. I don't like the clicking sound that my treadmill is making. I had it for a few years, so it could be that it just is gotten to the point where I need to replace it. We'll see. Try to get as much leeway out of it as I can. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and call it there for now. I finished that quest, so that's all well and good. So, yes, it seems like it's all a bunch of normal interaction stuff, and then it seems like there's going to be a trio of battles. See, all those battles were incorporated in just this one. So I'm curious what these three will be. I assume this battle, the last battle one, or maybe this Night of Calamity. So basically, the boss we fought at the end of that thing was the boss you need to get to level her talents. Not her talents, or her main ability. You need two abilities. You need the weekly boss material, and you need there's two abilities you can get. Cool. Wrong one. Oh, right. Let's see. Cool. There's two abilities you need when leveling up the main passive of a character. You need a weekly boss material, and you need some supplementary materials. And in fact, you don't even need the weekly boss material until grade D. D, E, and F all need... Actually, no. I know the first two don't. You just need the elite. There's the elite boss and the weekly boss, and so basically, so to get this next thing, I need that orange material, and then the purple one. And the purple one is essentially from the same boss we just fought in that zone. I assume that the enemy we're gonna have to fight at the end of this patch, that Knight of Calamity, will probably be the weekly boss that we have to fight for her for this talent material. That's what I'm thinking is gonna happen. But we shall see. Obviously, it's hard to say. They might introduce a new enemy entirely. I doubt it. I think it will be that one, but we'll see. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and call it. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.